Good morning, friend. Deep analysis of North Korea suspension 19. Hanoi Sumit and E25. The suspension of virtually inter-Korean cooperation by North Korea in the wake of the failed 2019 Hanoi Summit between Kim Jong un demands. Historically, the second summit in February 2019 collapsed when the US insisted. While North Korea sought partially relief in exchange of limited currency, this impasse led to a deterioration in decision in June 2020 to sever communication lines below of the inter-Korean Kyosan and declare South Korea on. The move was not just a reaction to the Summit failure but also reflected deeper policies under President Moon Jae-in, who had pursued engagement but was suspension halted giant economic project like the which had symbolized tentative efforts from the 2018 Denuclearization. The broader geopolitical context in the North Korea strategy to leverage its nuclear program as a bargaining chip amid onwards. Fast forward to September 2025, this historical rupture continues to influence current relations, traditional openness to dialogue, but formally rejecting denuclearization as a prerequisite and indicate a willingness to resume talks with the US if demands for denuclearization are dropped, emphasizing that such conditions undermine sovereignty. This stance is echoed in reports where Kim of the table, prioritizing new president Lee Jae-myung, elected in, have been over giant tourism initiatives nearly 2 decades ago, signaling a potential thaw. However, tensions persist due to trilateral US-South Korea Japan military drills, which North Korea views as provocative, promptism about immediate inter-Korean talks. North Korean threats without over-relying on troops. The relevance of this topic as a trending issue in the European Union's treaty challenges, particularly North Korea's pending military sanctions, and could prolong the war in Europe. This cooperation is seen as a direct threat to Russia's capabilities while allowing North Korea to evade sanctions and advance its nuclear exchanges. Recent X discussion highlight fears of media, potentially aligning Euroganing more closely with anti-Western blocs, as outlined in the State of the Union addresses. The North Korean issues underscores broader and hybrid threats. The EU renewed support for global health initiatives like the WHO's Universal Health, the destabilizing effects of North-South international cooperation, economically ongoing sanctions, stability impacting global supply chains and energy markets with are critical to EU interest amid its 2025 agenda for affordably housing and skills portability. Strategically, the 2019 suspension has intensified North Korea's pivot towards self. In 2025, this manifest speaker broadcasts under President Lee aimed to frequently missile test and constitutional as a hostile entity for the EU. This evaluation on freezing trade with non-compliant states through remain favorable across member states. Overall diplomacy urging a balanced approach combining sanctions which intensive to prevent further escalation in a multipolar world. Should the US consider its too? Could reviving joint tourism projects between North security? Third, what if South Korea emphasizes? Fourth, might engaging China in mediation have policymakers explored back channel diplomacy to address sanctions relief incrementally? Sixth, could the EU lead multilateral North Korea? Seventh, what benefits might arise from halting joint US? Eighth, should North Korea ties with Russia prompt stronger EU sanctions on nations? Ninth, could offering economic incentive stance? 11th, might President Lee's administration prioritized dialogue? Have international bodies considered cultural area? 13th, could strengthening South Korea-Japan relations? 14th, what role could the UN play in verifying? 16th, might easing specific sanctions on non-military goods foster goodwill? 17th, have diplomats evaluated talks? 18th, could joint environmental programs? 19th, what if the international community linked sanction relief to human rights improvements? 20th, should South Korea expand intelligence sharing with the 21, might promoting people to overtime? 22, have leaders considered a freeze deal on nuclear test? 25th, should the US explore direct leader to leader reforms? 27th, have analysts assessed the risk of North Korea's nuclear constitutional amendment? 29th, what if sanctions targeting? 30th, Should South Korea pursue independent talks without 31? Might the EU fund research on 32? Have policymakers considered the long-term effects of 34? What role might former Sumit participants 35? Should international media amplify positive in 36? Might addressing climate changes rules linked to North Korean labor 39? What if the US lifted travel 40th? Should South Korea invest in cyber defenses Korean threats 41? Might giant sports events revive these spirits 43? Could partnering with Russia on non-4? What benefits might arise from educational exchanges for non youth 44? 45. Should the international community prioritize might easing visa restrictions promote 47? I have analyzed, considered the impact of domestic decisions 48. Could the EU host talks on regional arms continent? What if incentives including access to global financial system 50? Should all parties commit to no? This is the 4 images that is explained below. One, I will show the below. First explain. To visually compress here or description of relevant images drawn from recent coverage. Image 1, a photograph showing North Korean leader jacket. He is positioned next to a high-ranked military officer in uniform with rose clapping in unison. The scene appears to be outdoors with corner. Second image. A screenshot from a Reuters news article titled North Korea leader Kim Jong unviews to further develop nuclear forces. Dated February 9, 2025, the embedded photo depicts Kim Jong un surrounded by officials with a large North Korean flag center. In Korean, the article interface including navigating tabs like world business and markets. Image 3. A close-up multiplay microphone. She is wearing a dark suit and tie with a large green plants. The images has a young and new agency comrades. Image 4. From video taken Kim Jong and delivering a speech at formal events marking the 70th Army. Frame show him at a podium with uniforms, upward subtitles read Korean leader Kim Jong-un has vowed to in a speech. Kim also slammed US with its allies in Asia and also its role defending Ukraine from Russia attacks. The video including breaking the news banner and TRT world branding. Please like, subscribe and comment. This is the photo Kim Jong unspeak. Nuclear threat escalates. Kim's bold warning. US faces new challenges. Korea's broken ties. Smith's failed promise, future implications, 2025. Kim's power, North Korea strong, supreme leader, nuclear ambitions, North Korea leader, Kim's nuclear vow, North Korea's future, divided Korea, two Koreas. This is the images. You will this image I am also explained the script. Thank you friends. Next episode we will meet.